Video transmission. Hello, everybody. It is I, Blaze from Blazing Flame Studio, and joining me is Phoenixmay. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello. Now, people on the channel may not know this, considering I'm a Genshin YouTuber, and up until recently, Phoenix was a Genshin Star Rail YouTuber as well, but we both play Magic. And Tarkir is looking interesting, to say the least. Certainly better than I'm going to hop in a vehicle and go vroom. So, we thought...
It's weird.
Oh.
Ether Drift is weird, but
yes, Ether Drift is... Have you done any Ether Drift Limited, perchance?
No, I did the pre-release one because I'm usually busy on Friday nights, so it's just that's my pre-release is my one shot at paper. Use my only time to play Paper Limited in a while, so I did.
I've got a couple drafts of that set. It just feels very clunky. I don't know if you've had similar experience.
Yeah, I remember, so I was playing Sultai. I was playing Green, Black, Blue, or Sultai in Ether Drift release, and somebody called my deck, the fastest deck they played against in our group. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that format is incredibly slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so speaking of Sultai, thanks for the great transition.
No problem.
We're going to look at some Tarkir Dragonstorm spoilers, and I've seen a few of these already. I believe, Phoenix, this is a complete first look for most of these for you.
I've seen some, like the fetches coming back and some other things. Some fetches coming back.
Alright, so scrolling on down here. These are the first set. So we've got a new set of rare
lands, okay. So it's enters tapped unless you control a land type of the other two of the...
Well, not shard, but...
The wedge.
Pawn.
And then it's some other mechanic with it, okay.
To those that are watching but not, or listening but not watching, we're looking currently at Kishla Village, which is a land, enters tapped unless you control an island or a swamp. It taps to add green, and for 4 mana and tap, surveils 2. Kind of a weaker effect on this kind of land, I would say. I feel like Surveil 2 it's kind of similar to Castle Vantress.
Although I think I think blue appreciates the scry more than green does the Surveil, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if this was there was 2 mana to Surveil 2, I feel like this might see play in like a dredge-ish kind of pile, but I don't see this as being particularly popular anywhere.
Yeah, especially because it's a mono land.
Yeah. Great after Arishan City. Enters tapped unless you control a 4-star plains. Taps to add black. And 2 mana, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. This one's
better than the green one.
It is better than the green one. I don't know if that's necessarily... It's great overall. Exiling a creature card for your graveyard to make a 1/1 spirit that doesn't fly.
Okay, that one's kind of okay, but I feel like it could be okay.
But I feel like honestly, this effect probably could have been on the multi card and been better for being green, blue, black, because green, blue, black wants cards in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this as it is, I don't think there's anything in standard right now, particularly that's playing. I think that's Abzan, I believe, is white.
Yeah,
black,
that's
green.
That's Abzan.
All right, so yeah, not super. Also, quickly going off of some random lore that we are privy to through the flavor text of Kishla Village. Stonguard's remnants drown, a new Sultai rises. They straight up built the completely on top of the bones of Silumgar. Let's go.
Yeah, probably.
Makes sense. Alright. Core Mountain Monastery. Enters tapped unless you control plains or island. Taps out a red, and for 4 mana again, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. 4 mana seems a bit overcosted in my opinion. Yeah. Still, even if you get to play it until the end of your next turn, that's still like.
I think that's true.
If you're a chess guy and you're spending 4 mana to exile the top card of your library to do something next turn,
I feel like this could probably be actually okay in like not Jeskai, like honestly mono red. Mono
Mono
like,
could probably
or like color, not Jeskai, but basically anything color with combo with red that lacks card draw. This could be okay.
Yeah, I don't think it'll see play in mono red because it enters tapped if you're in mono red.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I feel like Boros could use
now, this next one.
No.
This next one I've seen, and I think it is by far the best of the lot.
Scrolling down.
Mistguy's Village enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest, taps to add blue, and for 1 blue and tap it, the next spell you cast this turn can't be countered.
Yeah, I think that's the best one. That's one of the 4 we saw so far.
That will see play in multiple formats, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, like uncounterable, I don't know what, like, also that land ability is hard to interact with, because it's activated abilities are harder to interact with than, like, cast spells and the cast.
Yeah, and the thing that I think people sleep on about this card, you do not need to play Teamer, which I think Teamer doesn't really need clause. It's more of an aggro thing. But if you put this in blue-green, which is known for being a control deck, or red-blue, which is all about spells, this is very good.
Yeah.
And then finally we have Kavan Encampment. It is a land, enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain, taps to add white, and 2 and a white. Whenever you attack this turn, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step.
I feel like, is this the worst of the 5?
I think this is one of the better of the 5, honestly.
Actually, whenever you attack this turn, I guess, like... It sounds like... I feel like, yeah, I think, like, when it's, like, going later in the game, I think if you have, like, basically any anthems or, like, impact tremor, like, effects on board, this is actually pretty okay.
And only because this is an attack trigger, it would be copied by things like EC 2 Heavens is 1.
Oh, yes.
So it's good in Commander. I don't think it's going to be great. I think the only of these that sees consistent standard play will probably be Mistrise.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like, the white one is just, like... I think if you don't have some other thing on board to abuse it, it's kind of mid. If you don't have... But you have to... but those colors, you have, like, you have things to do. I feel like impact tremors, double the trigger, any kind of anthem, any kind of
doubling token effect, like
like the 5 million things are in white. Like what is it? That and the O'Hare, the Oger, whatever the heck, and like
we'll see later. The 5 million and 1 new effects that do that.
Oh,
Moving on from these land cycles, Severan's Priest is an Abzan cast. It is a Jinn Cleric, which we don't have many of those. 3/3 with Death Touch. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, exile that card. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX White Spirit creature token, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. Very similar to the one.
I think it's
what's that?
Maybe Skyplay that version, except it's cards in hand.
Skyplay that version was because it was mana value 4 less from the battlefield, and you make a spirit when it dies.
I forgot if it was creature or permanent, but yeah,
it was non-permanent 4 less. I remember.
Okay, great. Oh yeah.
Relevantly, this makes me think Abzan mid-range might be something that is actually viable.
Just looking at this, then
this is a 3-mana 3/3 that hurts.
Yeah, it's on turn 3. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think this is generally pretty good. Death touch blockers are pretty valuable.
It can also be very good in trying to think. I think white, green, black already has a decent shell with I think it's the core of the 5-color lands. And keeping in mind, this is the same color pairing as the current Beast of Standard Atraxa.
Oh yeah, Atraxa has everything but red. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this could fit as a sideboard card and maybe the domain lists. This could spawn its own thing.
I'm guessing that's part of a cycle of 3 mana, like, clan colored
Card thing.
But just if we scroll down, we can maybe see if that's true. I don't know.
Scrolling down, next
Actually,
up is Mystic Monastery.
Fun. Okay, yeah.
This land is tapped and adds Jeskai. Or
yeah,
blue.
okay, okay, gotcha. It's a nice reprint. It's an okay reprint.
It's a nice reprint. Will of the Jeskai is a sorcery, 4 mana. Choose one if you control a commander as you cast this spell.
Notably, the
set
symbol is for the commander precon, not main set.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards, or each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gain flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. This is a Wolf Jeska's Will.
I'm not sure about the Jeska's Will comparison, but yeah, it's... Well, like, just the big thing about Jeska's Will is that you also get mana to cast your stuff.
Yes, my main thing is that is there a world where you run this instead of Jeska's Will? I don't think there is.
I think, well, this is like a purely circumstantial one on if you happen to have this and not have Jeska's Will, maybe, but... I know.
Yeah, because my other thing here is that's relevant. You're paying 4 mana for this effect. For you to gain the flashback ability until end of turn. Not until the next turn. So you're already investing 4 mana into this to be able to give something in your graveyard flashback.
Yeah.
Whereas with Jeska's Will, you got the exile effect and you got the top 3 cards of your library. And the
top cards of your library and then also the red mana.
Yeah, and each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. Maybe it would be better if only the caster got to do that. But as it is, I don't see this being super playable in Commander.
Yeah, no.
Moving on to Chaos Warp. Transforming Flourish is a free mana instant with Demonstrate, a very rare mechanic in today's day and age, which I wish they'd do more with. Demonstrate when you cast this spell, you may copy it. If you do choose an opponent to also copy it, players may choose new targets for their copies. Destroy target artifact or creature you don't control. If that permanent is destroyed this way, its controller exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. Then they may cast that card without paying its mana cost. I like this card. I don't think it's particularly good.
I think it's a side grade or like a maybe very minor downgrade to Chaos Warp.
Yeah, because Chaos Warp can obviously target anything.
Chaos Warp targeting any permanent, I think, is actually pretty valuable in red, because red already has a ton of artifact removal and a fair amount of creature removal by damage.
Yeah, I do think that it's a very interesting group hug or political card, because it reminds me almost of...
Yeah.
Crimson Grip, I believe, was the one that let you exile 2 artifacts or enchantments. I feel like a worse version of that.
I think Crimson Grip was one that you picked something from everybody's board and exiled until Crimson Grip. Actually, no, wait, Crimson Grip, no, wait.
That's Council's Judgment.
No, it's Grasp of Fate. Crimson Grip is split second green, destroy target artifact enchantment.
Sorry, that's right. I'm thinking that Return to Dust is the one that if you did it on your main phase, you got to target 2 things.
Maybe I don't.
Yeah, I don't think this is good, but I think it would be very good in certain shells like Group Hug or something like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see this being playable. Like I said, it's like downgrade to Chaos Warp, because it like destroys instead of shuffles it back. So that's something to consider for like the actually big stuff.
Yeah. Relevantly though, this could be good in Storm decks as a replacement for Chaos Warp, because if they demonstrate it, then that would go towards Storm count, because Storm is the amount of spells cast in a turn.
Wait, Storm is by anybody?
I believe so.
Okay. So we can look that one up.
It's one of the 50 million reasons that Storm is broken.
Okay, I'm checking that just because I'm curious. Jeez, Storm. Can I see a card with the? Well, that's description. Yeah, it's cast. Yeah, when you cast a spell, copy it for each spell cast before this turn. So that's from anybody.
Technically, by itself, this is Storm count too, with also double removal.
Yeah.
Not necessarily better, but moving on. There are Pyremaw, also from the Commander set. 5-mana dragon with flying, red. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, then this creature deals damage equal to its power to target opponent. And it is a 3/3.
It seems like the next batch of cards are all on the commander set.
It does appear that way. I don't think this is particularly great.
I mean, if you're playing, I think like in like a deck full of like cheaper like cantrips and things like, would this feel good on the top end for like Feather?
I mean, it's the thing is about
cantrip deck. Actually, never mind. That's never.
I mean, it would work in a cantrip deck. My ultimate thing is that I feel like you could just be I feel like the place you're running this the most is something like Is It? But I think you'd rather be running like Goblin Electromancer, which discounts.
Oh yeah, spell discounters, or like something like a Stormkill Artist that makes you treasure.
Yeah, I just think this effect is not.
I think
5 mana.
If this was on a creature that like cost 3 or 4, that'd be better.
Yeah, I think a 3-2 maybe that had this ability would have been fine.
Yeah, without. I don't think the deck that runs this cares about it being flying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, I don't think we really need it.
You have on this card?
No. What's
Alright.
the next one?
Voracious Bibliophile is a 4-mana blue dragon, flying in vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell with one or more targets, draw that many cards. Are you familiar with Hinata Dawn?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's that commander that's like multi-targets? What's that?
Yeah, the discount for each additional. This will be very good in deck-specific deck.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not that convinced on this card.
Yeah, the only other one I can think of that maybe would want this is that new Riku from Outlaws at Thunder Junction that rewards you for picking spells with multiple options.
I'm trying to think in general, what spells have multiple targets?
Greenfire. Or not Greenfire, Fireball.
Yeah. Well, it has to say target. So, like, that basically gets rid of most board wipes.
Yeah. I believe in the Necrotic Hex destroys 6 target creatures.
Okay.
It's not great. Okay.
Anyway. Transcendent Dragon,
Transcendent Dragon, yeah. 4 blue for a creature dragon, surprisingly. Flying, when this creature enters, if you cast it, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard, then you may cast it without paying its mana cost. It's still think too expensive to be played.
Counter spell feels bad. I think, like, I have been considering a flash deck, so at some point I might actually might like it, but at the same time 6 mana is really high.
Yeah, I feel like if you're spending, and MTG Goldfish and many other people have said this, if you're spending 6 mana, you want Bowmender, not a reaction.
That's true.
Moving on, are we back? Nope, we're still in.
We're still in Commander.
Adaptive Trading Post is an artifact for 3 mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if this artifact has fewer than 3 charge counters on it, put a charge counter on it. Remove 3 charge counters from this artifact. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it, and you may choose a new target for the copy. I think it's a bit slow.
Yeah, I think unless you're running a bunch of cheap stuff, it feels slow.
So it's a 3 mana do nothing on its own.
Yeah,
Also, it's a 3 mana do nothing by itself, and the fact that you're limited to only being able to get 3 charge counters on it. You can proliferate, I suppose, which is maybe makes this better, because it's not limited to only getting 3. You can get more on it, just not casting stuff.
Like this plus, what's the name of that card? Flux Channeler?
Yes,
the creature that, like, 3/2/2, when you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate.
Overall, though, I feel like ever since Dockside, they've really kind of gone down.
How was Dockside only 2 mana? That was ridiculous.
Oh, it was a different time. Speaking of something that may very well be powerful, this Technique is an enchantment aura for 3 and a white. At Storm, we've touched on briefly, but when you cast a spell, copy it for each spell cast before this turn. You may choose your target for the copies. Copies become tokens. Enchanted creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. This, on the other hand, seems very good.
Yeah, okay, even if you only... Okay, even then, like, 4 mana... Even if you have not cast anything before this on your turn, like... Actually... Yeah, you want to cast at least 1 or 2 things before this. Because
Yes, I can think of...
Because, like...
Alia?
Let's see.
I think Alia would really like this. Also, I think this could see play in Eternal formats.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like... What's that? There's like a 2-mana enchantment from... Eldraine that's like pretty similar. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each.
Glitters?
Yeah, all the glitters for each.
And now
Dang, so that's two. That is a 2-mana enchantment for a similar buff. So I think you probably want to cast, like, if you're casting like 1 spell before this, which is actually pretty doable late game.
It's going to be double that for a similar amount of mana.
Yeah, for this same mana.
Trying to think of if there's any. I mean, Dahlia, any Enchantress deck that's going to be relying on aggro is going to want this.
Yeah.
Aligned Heart is a 3-mana enchantment with Flurry, which is a new mechanic. When you cast your second spell each turn, put a rally counter on this enchantment. Don't see rally counters very much anymore. Then create a 1/1 monk creature token with prowess for each rally counter on it.
Let's see. Wait. Oh, Flurry is whenever you cast your second spell each turn this period. Okay. And gotcha.
It's a kind of weird-ish. I feel like it's a weird Monastery Mentor, and I feel like I just prefer running Monastery Mentor.
It's still similar to the blue artifact we just looked at.
Yeah.
Except this is even more.
Fun fact, I believe the last time we had rally counters was Assemble Legion from, I believe, Guild Pact.
That sounds like a long time ago.
Very long time ago. Do you have anything you'd like to say about this card?
I thought this is even slower.
Oh, it is very much slower.
Thing. Like, actually, like, this could be okay in, like, a flash deck. Like, I'm saying flash or, like, a instant speed deck, because this is any turn. This is on... If this can be on each turn, so it's not restricted to your turn. Not restricted. But I think it's a very niche use case. Again,
like not a set price, but beyond that, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
Moving ever onward, we're back to the normal set. Let's go. Winter Night Story is a 3-mana sorcery. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. And it also has a new mechanic, Harmonize, for 4 blue. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its Harmonize cost. You may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power, then exile the spell. This is very reminiscent of Drawn from Dreams, I believe it was from Innistrad, Midnight Hunt, I believe?
I'm not sure if I would know this one.
Memory Deluge, I believe.
Draw 3 cards? Yeah, I think, well, let's see. Yeah, so it's basically like, it's kind of a mix of flashback and convoke.
Yeah, the one thing I think that's going to prevent this from seeing standard play is that is a sorcery.
Yeah, it is a sorcery. Like, if that was an instant, that might be a little too good if it was an instant. Let's see, some common.
Yeah, Portraits, Kinguard.
Enters into yours, 1/1 to make a spirit. Okay. 1/1.
Yeah,
that sounds not terrible for limited, to be honest. No, not.
It's basically Doom Traveler, but with a bit more stuff. The next one I do want to spend a moment on because Tempest Talk is 2 and a white for a creature bird with flying. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a card named Tempest Talk, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And you can have any number of cards named Tempest Talk. So another one of these mechanics. It's not great, and it's also a color that I'm pretty sure has like 5 of this effect by now.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is not great. Wasn't the one from Foundations like just better than this? Heir Apparent?
Yes, and also Templar Knight from Assassin's Creed was better than this.
Okay.
But it'll probably still be a $1 to $2 card because it breaks the commander rule.
Yep. Yeah. So someone else is able to.
Very good in specific flyer decks.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, FP Dragonclaw, I'm guessing related to Surak Dragonclaw, legendary creature human warrior with Vigilance, Trample, and Ward 1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell this turn, draw a card and put 2 counters on FP Dragonclaw.
Okay.
I mean, 4 mana 4/4 with those keywords is already pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why this doesn't feel like something I personally would build.
It's just the restriction of having to do a creature and
combat on your turn.
Yeah, so not much to say here, I don't think.
Yeah, not much.
It's,
I mean, like
it's a good rated card, but I don't think it sees play
like
standard.
if I'm pulling this in limited, I'm happy. Like if I
Yeah, this is a very good limited rare.
because that is 4 mana for a 4/4 plus some keywords.
Which is very relevant because of Ward 1.
Ward 1 for sure. Like
Magmatic Opite, 2 red for a creature dragon, 4/5, so already decent stats. When this creature enters, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Its controller searches the library for a basic land card, puts it on the battlefield tapped with a stun counter on it, then shuffles. This reminds me of Kratos' Blood Crusher from Martian Machine, I believe, which was a similar effect, but it was a 4 mana for a 3/2.
okay. That one has stun counters on it?
It did not put stun counters on it, so it's better Kratos' Buzz Crusher, but I still don't think it sees play.
In it, like, yeah, I don't think so unless you're like in a dragon deck or something. I don't know.
Sadly, I believe there's going to be a ton of those coming up.
Yeah. It's not terrible because it's 4 mana for a 4/5 flyer. Actually feels okay for 4 mana. Feels?
Yeah. Awaken the Honored Dead is a saga for Sultai. Chapter 1, destroy target non-land permanent. Chapter 2, mill 3 cards. And Chapter 3, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. This is very similar to the Theros saga of fighting the old gods.
That's
in my
all
opinion.
time, but yeah, same point. Yeah, I was gonna say buying it. Fuck. Like, okay, 3 mana for destroy target non-land permanent on its own is pretty good. The other those, it depends on the deck, I think. But
Sultai does care about milling and returning stuff from graveyard to hand. Relevantly, I don't know how often this will come up, and the thing that I kind of think makes it slightly better than Binding of the Old Gods. This is destroy target non-land permanent. It does not say destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. I don't know how often that will come up, but it's an interesting
one. Yeah.
If you get like enchanted with a curse, or maybe like given a creature like Xantia or something, that can be good. I think it's relevant to know that that's there.
Yeah, and I still might like binding a little bit better, just depending on the deck. But like, binding does get you like a forest on step 2.
Yeah, my main thing that I like this better than is that
this is also one issue.
It's one less, and also I always feel like Chapter 3 of Binding of the Old Gods, creature you control gaining Death Touch.
I never.
In many cases, I feel like all 3 of these chapters are useful at some point.
That's true.
Next up, Tarkin's Resolve. Target creature was +3/+3 until end of turn, or destroy target creature with flying at the 2 mana instant. It's touching wing. It's wings,
I'm fine with it being modeled.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also, lore relevant. Starkon tells the dragon to be powerful, which is kind of against everything that he does. I guess.
Okay, sure. Then
Thorak, Elusive Hunter. Oh, what did you have anything to say about Sarkhan's Resolve?
No, nothing else. Let's move now.
Thorak, Elusive Hunter is a 3 mana 4/3 legendary creature human warrior being a relevant subtype. This spell can't be countered. Trample, whenever a creature you control or a creature spell you control becomes the target of a spell or ability and opponent controls, draw a card. This is going to see sideboard play against control decks, in my opinion.
I think it's like most of the construction I play is Commanders. I think this is definitely like a 99 card in some green, I'm guessing.
It probably goes in Najeela, or the 5-color Warrior Commander. I think that's Najeela.
Yeah.
In Standard, this is probably good for the mono green deck as a sideboard, or even a main board card.
Yeah. I guess it's good for mono green. And yeah, well, 4/3 Trample for 3 mana is just already good.
Yeah, it's decent. Anything else for...
No, I don't know. I just see if that's another rare, like if I pull this unlimited, I'm probably happy.
Yeah, I can see this being like a $2 to $3 card that might see standard play.
Yeah.
RuneScape Stormbird is a 4-mana dragon 2/4 with flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell or a dragon spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Not super great on its own, but it does have another version of Adventure, is the only way we can... It's slightly worse. Cheering Screech is an instant summon, new instant type, counter target spell with mana value 2 or less. Unlike an Adventure, however, if you cast it for its Omen side, it shuffles the card back into its owner's library.
How relevant
Not sure how good that is.
How relevant is MV2 or less?
I guess it probably is, because there's the Pixie deck going around in Standard, that the 1-mana Pixie. The discard deck uses a lot of discard that's 2 mana.
Okay.
Like, I don't think... I feel like you're either running this for the Omen or the Dragon, because if you're casting the Omen, you're definitely the Dragon back in. And I feel like that can mess with...
Yeah, I don't see many decks liking both modes.
I think if you're playing it, it's probably for the 2-mana counter.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I don't think I have much else to say on that one.
Yeah, me neither. Dragonback Assault, I believe our first mythic. When this enchantment at 3 green, blue, red enchantment, when this enchantment enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. And landfall, whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying.
Okay, I like that it does something on enters. And
yes.
Let's see. Dimic already has a bunch of landfall tools.
Yeah, but also relevant for Standard and Commander. This is the colors of I'm going to ramp as much as possible and get this out on turn 3.
Yeah, I can do that. I think
it's good in I need to feed this deck even more. That 4-color Omnath.
Hey!
Because it needed to help, as we all know.
Yeah, that clearly needed help.
Yeah, because, just making double the mana, double the creatures, and everything else wasn't enough. I don't think you'll see Standard play at 6 mana.
No.
Moral Perception is a 2-mana instant, green and a blue. Return target card from graveyard to hand. This is Regrowth, but better, because Regrowth only returned a permanent card.
No, this is
This returns anything.
It's also an instant. That's fun. Also, it is.
It probably sees play in various places. I don't think it'll see Standard play, but it's a good card.
Yeah, I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about this card in Limited, to be honest. But I think Commanders, I can definitely find space for this.
Yeah. Moving on to one of the weirdest spells I've ever seen. The Sig Ceremony is 3 black for a legendary enchantment. We've had one of those recently with, I believe, Necro Dominance. It must be as good as Necro Dominance, right? Let's find out. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. That's really good. Whenever a creature you control enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature. They create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. I feel like you're only ever running this in a deck that is able to prevent ETBs.
But to prevent CTBs or like CTBs?
Prevent ETBs, because then you will not have your creatures being destroyed whenever you cast them.
Oh yeah. Or like maybe you're in a deck that like has ETBs and like you don't really care if your creatures die.
True. Relevantly, I think this will be very funny to put in Phage the Untouchable.
What does Phage do? Phage?
Phage is whenever if you cast Phage from anywhere other than your hand, you lose the game when it ETBs.
Okay.
And it's, I believe, 5 mana for a 5/5, and whenever she deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game.
Oh, fun.
So,
Oh, I think I have actually. Well, I might have actually. I think at some point I did lose this card, which is funny. I didn't lose.
in terms of standard, I don't think it sees play. This is either going to be a really good card that I'm severely underrating, or a really bad card that'll be worth 5 cents.
Yeah, I don't. It's either really good or really weird.
Yeah, because there is a 4-mana enchantment that's just creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and I believe it gives all your creatures -1/-1, and I believe it was actually reprinted in OTJ as a special guest at one point. But this is just a really big drawback.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you already have something on board, like a Conrad.
I guess it's decent in Reanimator, but
Yeah.
still.
Terrible. Like,
If you're not casting Reanimated targets.
I feel like what would be like weird? It's like this is like a really weird thing. I just thought of it. It'd be kind of funny. That plus Luminous Broodmoth.
Yeah. I'm being that Luminous Broodmoth. You'd have to have the Luminous Broodmoth out first.
Yeah. That's fair. Like, it's just.
I guess it's also. This can do stuff with, like, Undying. Effects.
Oh yeah, like Undying Assist.
Other random stuff, like, or just use it with indestructible creatures.
Oh yeah. How?
Moving on. The ultimatums are back. Special guests.
I saw that they're special guests. Those are.
Won't spend a ton of time on these.
I don't really have much to say about the ultimatums.
Yeah, I will say, the art's not bad.
Yeah, the art's cool. Those ultimatums originally from Ikoria, I believe.
Actually, I believe these were based from Conflux.
Or was Conflux Solara, right? So these are shard ultimatums.
I could be horribly wrong, and the comments will get mad at me because these were originally in Cons of Tarkir. Who knows? All I'm saying is, I've never played these when I draft them.
Actually, yeah, that's fair. I actually do remember. I remember like people saying like, "Oh, we finally got the like wedge ultimatums back in like Ikoria in 2020." That's funny. Which is like, yeah, it's another wedge plane, but wedge plane. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really using any of these. I don't know.
It'll be a while before anybody ever casts these. Moving on to a friendly Orc Ranger. Teamer Battlecryer is a teamer to cast for a 4/3.
We're back to 3 mana cycle. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. During your turn, spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So at base, spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
Yeah, these colors really needed more ferocious support. Clearly, right?
No, but they got them anyway.
Yeah, they got it anyway. Yeah, like okay.
I mean, it'll see play in Commander. I don't think Standard needs this.
Yeah.
I hate to say that once again, it's good in Omnath.
Okay.
Also, relevantly, it's good in multiple versions of Omnath.
Oh yeah. I forgot what 3 color Omnath does, but that's something I can look up on my own.
Yeah, that's the elemental one. Encroaching Dragonstorm, 4 mana for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. When a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. This probably sees play in green ramp deck.
For like an Enchantress deck, maybe.
It reminds me of a circuitous route, except obviously that could get gates. But,
Tarkir's route was a sorcery or something, right?
it was a sorcery. But this is a repeatable effect, which I think is putting it up there.
Yeah. Or like maybe some like I'm thinking like enchanters because I don't think they care about the dragon part, but they probably have like a billion benefits of casting enchantments.
Yeah. Not much else to say about this. There was a cycle of Dragonstorms. I'm sure we'll see the part of them later.
Oh, probably.
Channel Dragonfire is 1 red for a sorcery, deals 2 damage to any target, and harmonized for 7. Every set needs that really bad version of Shock.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is worse Shock.
Shock with set mechanic.
I'm pretty sure this is worse Shock still.
Oh yes, it 100% is. I mean, maybe if it was an instant that had harmonized 7, but harmonized 7 is a lot for 2 damage.
Yeah, even though it's double red pip for the harmonized, even though it's double.
As for what I believe is the standout of the promos, Strategic Betrayal is a 2-mana sorcery. Target opponent exiles a creature they control and their graveyard.
Yeah, I think the graveyard one is the standout here.
There are multiple decks that will care. This is just honestly, this could be 2-mana exile an opponent's graveyard, and it would still be fairly decent. Then you get removal on top of it. It's like a weird edict.
Yeah, I think they technically take the creature, so it's not the best against that part's not great against decks that have a ton of tokens, but at the same time, there's multiple times of alright, who's got that Bajuka Bog, or who's got that Exile Graveyard effect? Who's got that?
Yeah. But yeah, of these, I think it's the best.
Yeah.
Devoted Duelist is a 2-mana 2/1 with haste. And whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent.
I'd say 2/1 haste is not bad.
Yeah, it's good and limited. I don't think it sees standard play.
Yeah, I think this is a limited, better than average, slightly better than average.
Yeah. Static Snare is a 5-mana enchantment with Flash. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. When this enchantment enters, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. I feel like this is just the worst banishing light.
Really? Artifact or enchantment? Artifact or creature. But
it's just the worst banishing light. Actually, it's kind of just the worst leyline binding.
I'm pretty sure this card exists in not promo pack. So I think that's actually, I think it's okay as a combat trick. Okay.
Yeah.
In limited, that's it.
It's not seeing any play outside of limited.
Yeah.
I did see this next card, and I think this card is
that looks like it's part of a cycle. That looks like it.
Yes, it is part of a cycle. This is by far the best one. Mardu Devotee is a 1-white human scout. When it enters scry 2, and you can pay 1 to filter Mardu through it.
Yeah.
A 1-mana 1/2 that scries 2 and has a filter as mana fixing. That's not bad.
Yeah. This screams, I want this in limited.
It reminds me of the, do you remember the Streets of New Capenna cycle that you paid 2 and attached them to a land to give it the shard effect?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember that.
This screams a common version of that cycle.
I think that cycle wasn't common, but that cycle was I think that cycle was okay, but I don't remember that mechanic, but whatever. I don't remember the name of that mechanic.
Scroll down. It's the rest of the devotees.
Devotees, okay.
Hold by devotee, 2-mana 2/1 with that, catch the filters.
This guy is Flurry 1/1.
Yeah, and Stokai technically returns that card from Graveyard Jam, 2-mana 2/1 filters, and you can return it from your Graveyard Jam.
That's it. That's it.
That the white one is the better of the 4 so far.
I think so. Let's see. I think 2/1 Death Touch is generally not bad. Generally not bad. I think the green one is
devotee.
And
yeah, devotee is just a 3/3 defender that filters.
That might be the worst one unless it's in a defense. Actually, I don't think Defender Matters really shows up with red in it. Cause
not really, no.
Yeah, because that's mostly Selesnya Bant, that kind of stuff.
There's a few with the 3-mana wall that gives all your creatures haste, but like...
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Blue Vine Regent, we're back to rares. Creature Dragon for a 3-mana 4/5. It has flying, when this creature or another dragon you control enters, you gain 3 life.
Okay.
Not great, but Claim Territory is a store-free Omen. Search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards, reveal them, put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle.
It's slightly worse to cultivate on a creature?
On a creature that shuffles itself back in, and unlike the other dragon, this allows you to ramp into this if you draw it later.
Yeah.
I think this could see a decent amount of play. This is Dragon Cultivate. This could go in a dragon list.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not Dragon because you can only get basic forest, but still.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but
that's about it that I've got for that.
Yeah.
Bold-Driven Dragon is an artifact dragon.
Okay.
Flying Vigilance when it attacks Surveil 1 is 5 mana for a 3/3.
Yeah.
Everybody needs those overcosted artifacts.
Yeah. I think
type.
even if this were I think this is also one or 2 mana short of outside of the set some other things that care about expensive colorless spells.
Yeah. I mean it's if you need dragon synergy, behold, you have something that fits in any deck. But if you're going this deep for dragon synergy, then I feel bad for you.
Yeah. I would much rather have that previous dragon, but that is rare, this is common.
Moving on down, Hayval, Arbiter of Virtue, is 2 and a Sultai for a legendary spirit dragon. No, it is not Ugin. Lifelink, spells you cast have Delve. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. This will be very popular in Commander.
Whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value, and you have Delve.
This is a very good payoff for getting cards in your graveyard. I don't think it's a standard play, because it's 5 mana.
Yeah,
This in Commander will be, I would argue, one of the top 3 most played commanders from this set.
I don't remember what else is in the set in terms of legendary creatures. I can see it.
I'm
trying to think of how much is whenever you cast a spell you lose life equal to its mana value going to hurt you?
My thing is, if you're playing this in Commander, you have to capitalize on that.
That's probably true. Actually, this is Bolts of Citadel is still a good card. So.
Yeah, Shadow, Bolts of Citadel, Shadow of Mortality, I believe was the one from...
I was just bringing up Bolts of Citadel as this card's still good even though you are losing life for spells. Actually, that you're not casting... Actually, Bolts of Citadel is good because you're paying life instead of mana, but...
Yeah.
And you're also getting stuff off top of your library, but...
Next up is just a really good-looking lace.
Yeah.
I think somebody said that's Ugin's eye, which would be kind of funny because we already have the eye.
Is that just a promo card, or is that
It is a promo card. There is a full cycle of these lands.
I think I've seen the rest of them. The rest are actually... I'm guessing they're just going to be available in packs.
Yeah, I think those are the full arch of the packs.
There's also a landscape set, cycle of 3 or 4, basically.
Yeah, relevantly, I think this means that Waste might be legal in Standard again for the first time in forever.
Huh.
Go pull out your Battles for Zendikar Waste, everybody. Next up, not going to spend a ton of time on
monuments. Are they all just stacked? Great. But enter search library. Okay, so it finds a land for your hand. That's okay, and then stacks artifacts for some kind of creature. They got stuff. That's the gist of it.
For those who are listening,
Teamwork
gets you a 5/5 elephant for 6 mana. Mardu gets you 2 1/1s with 3 1/1s with 2 warriors with.
I get menace haste until end of turn.
Yes, and that's for 5 mana. Sultai gets you 2/2/2 black zombie druid creature tokens. They're really focusing on these zombie druids for some reason, but okay. Jeskai gets you 2 1/1 bird for 4 mana, the cheapest so far. Abzan gets you an X white spirit creature token where X is the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Apparently Abzan, this set, does have a toughness matters kind of thing.
Yeah. Man, that defender we saw earlier should have been Abzan.
None of them are particularly great, but they're going to be good and limited because they're fixing.
They are fixing, yeah. I say like maybe the Jeskai and the Mardu ones on the sack ability being the better two on the limited.
Yeah. It is a 4/4 dragon with flying and
we're back to slightly like the two different colors, Omen and Dragon.
Yeah, the Omen cycle. When this creature enters, remove all counters from up to one target creature. Not great in many formats, but
I'm pretty sure you're playing this card for the Omen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Absorb Essence is a 2-mana, 1 and a white for an instant Omen. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink and hexproof until end of turn. Then shuffle this card into its owner's library.
That's about like 3 different effects for 2 mana. That's great.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think it'll see a ton of play. Maybe it's okay and limited, but definitely not seeing constructed.
Yeah, probably not. Let's say protection from color is probably better, but at the same time, like I don't think it's terrible if you can play it in the colors. Not because like just hexproof until end of turn is just generally like a good like protection to have. Good.
You're definitely not playing it for the dragon side.
You're not. Yeah, you're not.
Anything else you want to say about Purging
Storm?
I
don't think so.
Okay, Marshal of the Lost is a 4-mana, 2-white black for a creature Orc Warrior with Death Touch, 3/3. Whenever you attack, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Good and limited, I don't see it being played and constructed.
Yeah. Okay, move on. Oh my god.
Reigning Victor is a Mardu or 6 colorless or any combination. It's a hybrid thing.
I'm pretty sure this is a cycle. This is a cycle.
The Warrior with a new mechanic, Mobilize 1. When this creature attacks, create a captain attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. When this creature enters, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn.
This technically passes like the vanilla limited test of like 3 mana of like power justice divided by 2 should be greater than or equal to the mana value.
Yeah, I don't think it sees particular play. I mean, the Mobilize mechanic is nice, but this effect is not worth running this card.
Yeah, no.
Moving ever onward and upward, I suppose. Yathan Tomb Guard is 2 and a black for a 2/3 with Menace. Whenever a creature you control with a counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and you lose 1 life.
That seems like a good. I'm trying to think if 3 mana is too expensive for that in constructed.
In Commander, it might see play, but I also think there's many much easier ways to draw cards dealing combat damage than this.
That's true, like especially if you're in blue. But
Kindred Discovery comes to mind as a blue option.
Yeah, Kindred Discovery. What black has? Which one's black has?
Black has just options that let you draw cards and lose life. Like
yeah.
What's that 2-mana enchantment from Ixalan?
Oh, I don't know.
It was Bloodfast, I believe.
I was also like Night's Whisper, Sorcery Speed. Night's Whisper.
Yeah. The relevant thing this has going for it is that it's whenever a creature, not 1 or more, so you can technically draw a ton of cards.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if you're in a deck that can utilize this, this will be a removal magnet.
Yeah. I see this as like on the better end of uncommons and limited.
Yeah, this isn't awful. You could build around this. I haven't seen a ton of stuff about counters in this set so far.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Star Road Pack Beast is a 6-mana, totally not terminal. This spell costs 1 to cast for each creature you control. When this creature enters, draw a card. 6 mana, 4/3. That's technically going to be cast most likely for 2 in a white or less.
Yeah. Reminds me of a mobilize mechanic. You could actually go down pretty.
Yeah.
This could
reminds me of
go down pretty quickly.
Reminds me of Gideon Phalanx from Dominaria, which was a 4-mana 4/4 knight that had this ability, except not draw a card. Maybe this is good and limited, but it's definitely not seeing constructed play.
Yeah, this is still like an okay limited. Okay.
Ringing Strike Mastery, that's a mouthful. Yeah. Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. When this aura enters, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step, and enchanted creature has 5 mana. Untap this creature.
It feels like a worse witness protection to some extent. Because it's 1 mana.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's a better version of the 3 mana that taps the creature permanently, because I don't think
yeah,
the baseline is like 3 mana tap creature permanently. This may as well say tap creature permanently, because if you're paying 5 mana untap your creature,
yeah.
go away.
I guess this one, like, the big thing that I don't remember the 3 mana one does this, but this one does not remove like activated abilities. So like if you're something that like doesn't tap to cost stuff, or like doesn't remove abilities stuff, like random static stuff, like cost reduction, but like, yeah, this is like happy to see it in limited. I don't might be able to see some play in constructed. Maybe a little bit.
Not much. Sunset Strike Master is 2 mana, 1 in a red. For a creature human monk, it's a 3/1. To add red, which is a very rare thing for red creatures to get. And 2 in a red and tap it and sack it. It deals 6 damage to target creature with flying. I think this could be good, because we're about to be in a standard where a lot of stuff is dragons and a lot of stuff flies.
I agree. Also, how long is this?
Monk is also probably somewhat relevant.
Yeah. How long is this list of spoilers? There's a lot of cards.
We're probably going to be coming up on the end of it fairly shortly, or we'll separate this into a second video at some point.
Fine. Okay. We got another Dragonstorm. Corroding Dragonstorm.
Yes, Corroding Dragonstorm is 1 in a black for an enchantment. When it enters, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Surveil 2. When a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to his artist's hand. It's bad.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's bad.
Surveil 2 and draw 2 cards. Very good. This effect?
No. I don't think many things care about that drain.
Yeah, Duty Beyond Death. Initial cost to cast a spell. Sack a creature. Creature you control is indestructible until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This probably sees commander play.
Yes. Yeah, that says this is good.
It's not the fairy protection, but it's very comparable to, I think, heroic intervention would be the closest thing.
Yeah, it's also close to like selfless spirit to some extent.
Yeah. Our successor, 1 green, 1 black green for a creature human warrior with menace. Whenever one of our counters are put on a creature you control, if it's the first time the counters have been put on that creature, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Yeah, I mean, it's a worse Binding Constrictor from Kaladesh. But I mean, the 3 mana 3/2 with menace is a 3 mana 3/2 with menace.
Yeah.
And again, we haven't seen a ton of counter synergies, so...
Yeah, I feel like Abden might be the counter color, but not...
Yeah, it's looking like that.
Just
watch where the white side.
Death and yellow black card. Yeah, watch what I said.
Yeah, watch where the white side. 3 mana for a 3/2 artifact creature golem. When this creature enters, target player mills 2 cards and you gain 2 life.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna say I will need to go like soonish. Maybe we'll do a few more cards.
That works. In that case, how about we just end things off with the super powerful stuff? Ready the Song Unending is a 8-mana dragon, 5 green, blue, red, legendary creature spirit dragon, flying protection from white and from black. When a Rennie enters, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers your opponents control, where X is the number of lands you control. This gamer needed the help and needed a payoff for ramping. And also, it needed protection from the 2 most common commander colors for removal. Let's be honest, red is not killing the playpen.
Incoming Blasphemous Act.
I mean, Blasphemous Act is basically...
Yeah.
Notice Heart of the Storm is a 1 red, white, black for a legendary creature.
Finishing up with the dragons.
Yeah, the dragons and the 2 planeswalkers, I think, is the best one.
Okay, the dragons. I'm not...
If a creature... Oh, go ahead.
I might need to go like now, but I think we can look at the narrative and then we're good.
Okay, that's fine.
May have dragon.
Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon. If a creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. Kind of annoying that it doesn't have haste to enable its own effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haste deck could be interesting with that. Don't really have much to say about that otherwise. But
Is this? I know your Electro deck is the red-black one.
Yeah, it's red-black. It's the red-black one, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, thank you. I will need to head off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully we can.
Hey,
see you later.
See ya. We'll hopefully be able to finish things up another time. But until then, everybody, it has been a pleasure. And until next time, this is Blaze from Blazing Flames